I had a C-section with my first daughter in 1989, which was totally unwarranted and unnecessary. That almost led to the death of my first daughter. Baby number two comes. I didn't want to repeat that experience. And everywhere I went, the medical establishment at the time said I was a danger. I'm a good-sized woman, and they said my pelvis was too small. And they said it was high risk. And nobody would handle my second baby outside of a high-risk unit. So I did my research. I discovered midwives. A lay midwife that I went to at the time. I knew a physician, an OB, that believed in home birth, and birth was a natural event that I could definitely take care of well with guided expertise from these midwives, which I did. So I had a very powerful experience of taking my power back, healing a very wounded place in me that hurt me deeply around trust in the medical system. I was 28 at the time. There was something that was ruined in me forever about trusting that medicine knows best. I had a very healing experience with the midwives 2 years later. I had a beautiful, easy birth, a VBAC at home with two amazing midwives and their apprentices. Everybody was healthy and everything went well. In that healing process, I became involved in a lot of movements, was very much a part of doing things differently because I had experienced what I had. I've always been interested in the alternative view. I wasn't a nurse yet. I know medical world is not perfect. I know a lot of the answers are outside of the medical system. I know, just like you all do, that trailblazers, they come from outside the medical system a lot of the time. Then my mother died. Bam. Okay. So much needs to happen outside of the medical system because people like my mom would have been in the hospital for that whole 5 weeks. Once she was diagnosed with cholangiocarcinoma, she would have been in that hospital. She had aggressive cholangiocarcinoma, and we had to manage that with palliative care, and we created our own palliative care system to take care of her, and we had to be on top of it every day. And if she didn't have a hospice nurse daughter, she would have been in the hospital most of that time. So most people don't have that. And so when she died, I knew, I said, just like those birth midwives, I know the power of midwifery in general, and their apprentices. And so it was very dear to my heart that when my mom died, I thought, I'm going to be like the birth midwives. I'm going to be the death midwife. That's just how I saw it. I love doula. Doula is the essence of a midwife. I really got it, that it wasn't the same exact comparison, birth midwife, death midwife, birth doula, death. It wasn't like that. So it was easy to shift all my language. The doula movement has been very slow. Within a system that's broken or that isn't operating to the fullest yet, sometimes the answers aren't going to come from inside of there. I'm an observer. I've been working in this field a long time. I've seen it from every angle under the sun. I've experienced it from an alternative perspective. I feel like I have a good grasp on where Western medicine is great, where it's not so great, how things can happen outside of medical circles, how they need to happen within the family and through the skillful teaching of generation to generation, say death care, dying care, care for sick relatives, like I learned within my Hispanic family. I went to my first vigil when I was 13. I learned how to take care of my dying relatives since I was very young. I didn't even put that together when that hospice rotation came around in nursing school. I didn't even think, I just didn't put it together that, oh, this is my calling, I grew up this way, or anything like that. It was just, bam, I knew what I wanted to do. I don't want it to be like I'm some guru telling you the way the truth is. You all know your own truth. Listen to what's being presented, what means something to you, and be part of that movement, whatever it is. Be aware of your own limitations. Be aware of where you need to grow. Be aware where you need to have an open mind, and search your own heart and mind about where you do stand. People used to call me and say, I want to do what you're doing. And I would say, okay, so why don't you? And they would say, well, I'm not medical. I'm like, so what do you want to do that's medical? Well, nothing. I don't want to do anything medical. Okay, so then why do you need to be medical? Well, I guess I don't need. No, you don't need to be medical. What gives me the right to be there? I said, well, do you provide peace to people? Do you have any experiences that you can share with me? That you were a great presence somewhere, or that you had a powerful experience, or someone said that they loved you being there, and they share story after story with me. Okay, so what do you need? Why don't you have confidence that you can be a beautiful presence to somebody who's dying? Do you feel like you could do that again? Well, yeah. So you see what I mean? It's my opinion that your community is going to credential you, so to speak. You're going to get a reputation of a person people love having around.